lovely friends. Today I'm coming at you from a little bit of a different angle. We are in my kitchen and today we will be tackling the third Reading Rush Challenge of 2019. But before we get into this video, I am going to reveal my answers for yesterday's video, Two Truths and a Lie. If you're not interested in that, I'll leave a time card on the screen. You can just skip to that number, I won't be offended, and you can watch what I'm going to be doing for this food challenge. First, we have stack number 1. We have Looking for Alaska by John Green, Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, and Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So I have read 2 of these and not read the other one. The 2 I have read are actually Looking for Alaska and Cinder. So I have read both of these. The one that I haven't gotten to is Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I started this book. I actually, still have my bookmark in it from, oh dear, a long time ago. A long time ago. But what happened was I got this book out from the library and I was really enjoying it, and then and I began reading it because it was due soon, and then my friend bought it for me, so then I no longer had the pressure to read it, so I just never did. So these were all books that I said I gave 5 stars, but one of them I gave not 5 stars. Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. The one that I did not give 5 stars is actually Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. People are shocked by this, but this, I think my expectations were too high going into this and it just didn't quite meet them. I think if I were to reread this book, I'd enjoy it potentially more. In both of these 2, I really love them. This one I actually read for school. It's my favorite book that I've ever had to read for school. It just really connected with me. And this one is just a beautiful story, historical fiction, adult historical fiction, which is one of my favorite genres, always consistently gets high ratings. The final stack that we had is a 5-star prediction stack. Bone Gap by Laura Ruby, The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen, and Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. The one that I'm more unsure about is The False Prince by Jennifer A. Nielsen. I've heard fantastic things about this one, which is why I bought it. But I know a few people, like one of my best friends, read this and only gave it 3 stars. They were a bit underwhelmed. It's a middle grade fantasy. That's all I really know about it. I still really want to read it, but I'm kind of apprehensive. I'm not sure if I'm going to be more on the 3-star side of things or the 5-star side of things. These 2 books I have more high hopes for. This one is about, like, it has space in it. Yeah, it has music in it, a traveling symphony, and those are both buzzwords for me. Those really get me. And I've heard this is really whimsical, which is my favorite thing. You probably could tell from just the amount of times I've talked about magical realism in these few videos that I've made. Same thing with this one. This one is a young adult contemporary, but it's a magical realism as well. 2 of my best friends have read this and both given it 5 stars, so I have high hopes for this one. So that wraps up my video from yesterday, Two Truths and a Big Little Lie. Now we're gonna get into today's challenge to make bookish inspired food. So I wasn't even sure if I was gonna do this one at first because I didn't really feel like baking. It is super hot outside and I didn't want to make my kitchen all hot. But then I had the fantastic idea that I would blend a drink for myself. So I was actually inspired to do this by Haley in Bookland. She showed a book in one of her vlogs, I believe, of a Alice in Wonderland themed drink recipe book, and it just got me thinking, wow, I should make my own drinks based on some of the books that I have read. So today I am going to be doing so. I'm going to be taking my inspiration from one of my recent reads and one of my newest 5-star reads. It's The Game of Love and Death by Martha Brockenborough. It is a young adult historical fiction about death and love, who both choose a player to play in this game. Once these 2 characters are anointed, they must either they must fall in love before a given date in which love wins, or if they don't, then they both die. So I really loved it. It has magical realism in it, which you know I love. And today I'm going to be talking about it a little bit, and for each thing I talk about, I'm going to be putting an ingredient in here. I'm so excited. It is so hot outside, like I said, and I'm ready for a drink. Alright, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the overall idea of the story. This idea is absolutely incredible. It's set in the 1937. That's when it's set. 1937s. It has a 1920s type feel to it. One of our main characters is a pilot. She's a woman, a black woman, and she wants to be the new Amelia Earhart, the African-American Amelia Earhart. And then we have our other main character, who is a white male who loves going to symphonies and watching this girl who on the side plays music, and he's mesmerized by it, and they're interacting with each other, and it talks a lot about the politics of mixed racial couple, and just there's also a gay side couple in this. So overall, it's just such a fresh new idea. So for this, I am going to add a little bit of mint in here. I have a fresh mint plant outside that I'm going to cut some leaves from, so I'll be right back. Here's our fresh mint. So as much as I love sort of the heartwarming nature of the whole falling in love and will these two characters ever be together? Because it is a magical realism set in this darker setting with the character of death and love personified into human beings, it definitely has a cooler tone. There's darker elements mixed into this, even just throughout the entire thing. Even the way it's written feels darker. If you read the physical copy, the chapter headings of each book are colored black with white text, which also emphasizes this contrast between this darkness and this lightness that are in this book. So since this is going to be a summery light mix drink, I wanted to add some more cool undertones, so I'm going to go and grab some ice. Here's our ice. So next I want to talk about the ending, which was an interesting take on this whole idea of forbidden love, and will they end up falling for each other, or will they die? In the synopsis it mentions other couples like Romeo and Juliet, and that's sort of, I would say, where this love story is inspired by, but the way that it ends is definitely really bittersweet. I love the way it ended, but it doesn't mean I wasn't sort of sad about it at the same time. So for this one, I'm going to add in a little bit of lemonade, which of course has the sour bitterness of the lemon in it, but it's also mixed with the sugar. And here's our lemonade. Finally, I have mentioned our magical realism element before, but this recipe would not be complete without a little hint of magic. So here's my magic. Right, we are ready to go. And okay, so here is our completed beverage. Definitely fun, definitely, I think, representative of the game of Love and Death. But of course, this video will not be over without a taste test. I'm sorry, these these straws are not reusable, but we're trying to reuse up the box that has lived in our pantry for actual years. Love it. Definitely minty, definitely fresh, definitely the game of Love and Death. So definitely go check it out, and if you haven't already. Thanks to Reagan at Peruse Projects for this lovely idea. It gave me an excuse to make this lovely concoction, which I am loving. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next challenge video. Bye!